Today on In the Woodyard, we're going to talk about the 7 kinds of firewood people that there are. I'm one of them, and so are you. Here we go. So in my extensive research that I have done, which is really not much at all, just talk to people is all I do. I have talked to a lot of people that burn firewood, cut firewood, sell firewood, hoard firewood, just like firewood. So I've talked to a lot of people in my, I think 53 years now I've been doing firewood. I started helping my dad when I was about 8 years old. And we basically heated the house with wood, so we were forced into it. My dad made us split wood for him and haul wood into the basement and stack wood and load the truck and go out in the woods and load the truck, and so we got kind of forced into it. At the time, I didn't really like it, but now I love it. So I've been converted. And I think that happens to a lot of us. When we're kids, we're kind of made to do jobs and we might not like them, but then later on in life you kind of think, oh, it was kind of fun. So that's kind of what has happened with me. And because I'm involved with YouTube and doing firewood videos and have been for years, and I've been selling firewood for years, I've heard a lot and seen a lot. So I don't know if you call that research, but I guess it's just experience. I'm going to talk about the 7 different kinds of people that I see that are firewood people. The first kind is kind of like the beginners. These are what I call bundle buyers. These are people that have a fire once, twice, maybe a few times a year, and they have either a fire pit or they have a smokeless stove or something that they bought, or a little bitty container that they can have a fire with on their deck or in their backyard. And they rarely have a fire. It's once in a great while, and they don't care how much it costs because it's for a special occasion. They're maybe going to have some friends over, or their kids are going to be around and they're going to make a campfire and burn some marshmallows and stuff like that. So it's once in a great while. Those are kind of like the beginners. Maybe it's just on vacation. They go and buy a couple bundles to burn in a fire pit out of a place they're vacationing or something like that. So they're not really looking at the price of the wood. They want the convenience. They want to grab it and go. They want to grab 1 or 2 bundles, maybe a couple times a year, and that's it. The next people is just kind of the next evolution in fire pit people. Got a friend here. They're people that will, like, occasionally have a fire in the backyard. They will have, maybe 6, 8, 10, 12 fires a year. When they have friends over, they might go sit outside and, cook some food over the stove, and they enjoy it. Maybe they make a fire once in a while, again, like I say, when they're on vacation, doing something outside with a bunch of people. They're the kind of people that say, hey, let's invite the Millers or the Joneses over and have a campfire today, and we'll cook out. And we'll have a fire we can sit by and drink and talk and whatever it is they do, around fires. There's a lot of that eating and drinking involved generally. And those people enjoy having a fire occasionally. And, they also probably are buying bundle wood, or they may collect wood in their own yard. Or if they see wood that's available, they might grab it, cut it up with whatever they've got for cutting. They might not even have a chainsaw. They might collect wood that they find by people's sides of the road or their neighbors have in their yard, and because they know they're going to have a fire occasionally. And they might, like I said, they might buy bundles, but they may also collect wood that they find or have available for free, or they may just get some from their neighbor or their friends, and they might go through maybe 1/3 of a cord a year, maybe. But again, they're not buying the wood for heating. They're not buying the wood to sit by every night. It's just once in a while, and there's a lot of those people out there. Now, these people might have a fire once or twice a week during the time of year when they do it, maybe in the summertime, fall, things like that. And a lot of times these people are what I call the party people. They're the people that like to have fun and invite people over and, like I said, play games, do yard games, board games, sit by the fire. Basically a lot of drinking, I think, is involved, which, hey, go for it. Whatever you want to do, just have some fun. So that's the second kind of people. The third kind of people are fireplace people. Now, these are people that have a fireplace in their house, and they may have a fire often. They can go through a lot of wood or a little wood. I think I kind of figured it out in my mind. The fireplace people, there's about 5 or 6 different levels of fireplace people. Now, the first one is someone that will get a face cord or 1/3 of a cord delivered, or they'll cut it themselves. They have that much available. A rack that's 4 feet high, 8 feet wide, 16-inch pieces, and they might go through that in a year or 2. They don't burn very often. I have customers like that. Then I deliver wood to them, I'll deliver a third of a cord, and they're like, oh, this is gonna last us forever. And they don't realize there's a lot of people that go through that every week because they have a fire often. The second kind of people are the people that go through a third of a cord or a face cord every year. It's kind of just standard. Every fall, and I see this because I sell a lot of people this quantity of wood. They buy a face cord or a third of a cord or a rick, a rink, a row, whatever you want to call it, fills their rack, and that'll last them the whole year. That's pretty common. I see a lot of that. The next one is the third kind of person. Now, this is probably the most common person that I sell wood to. They will buy a full cord every year, and they either burn it all up, or they try to burn it all up, or they get close to burning it all up. So they're going through anywhere from 2/3 of a cord to a full cord every year. So these people are the most common people that I see. I have a lot of customers that's how much wood they go through, and there's a lot of them. Those are like my bread and butter kind of customer. They go through 2/3 of their cord to a full cord every year in the fireplace. The next group of people, the fourth group, is what I call the hybrid. These are people that have a fireplace and a fire pit, and they go camping, and they go to their neighbors, and they borrow wood to people, and they will go through a lot of wood because they have a fire like every night. And I have a lot of these kind of people too, that I will deliver a third of a cord to once a month, year round, because they burn in their fireplace. Sometimes they have two fireplaces in their house, and they burn in their fire pit in their backyard, and they take wood with them when they go camping, and they go through a lot of wood because they like fire, and they go through a lot of wood. Love those kind of people. Some of them will order a full cord at a time. Sometimes it's just a third of a cord at a time. Sometimes 2/3 of a cord. But they order often and continuously. Love those kind of customers. There's a lot of people like that, so they're good people. The fifth one is what I like to call the whale. The whale is the kind of person that has two fireplaces or a fireplace, a fire pit. They go camping, they have a cottage. I have one of my customers, he has 3 homes. Well, I call them homes. One of his is his full-time home. The other one is he calls it his cottage, which is bigger than my home. It's a big McMansion on a lake. And then he has his cabin, which is bigger than my house, that he has on another lake. One is real close. His home is obviously where he burns his wood in his fireplace and his backyard fire pit. And then he has this cabin that he goes to that is only like 45 minutes away. They go there quite a bit on weekends and even evenings sometimes. They'll go there for an evening. And then his other place, his cottage, is about 2 hours away, and he goes there for his vacations. So he's the whale. He goes through a lot of wood, and he pays me to deliver it. The price is no object. He doesn't care. He trusts me. He wants good quality wood, and he's got the money to pay for it. That's the whale. Those are good customers. Now, along with the whale, there's the people that are like the hybrid, super duper people that they have fire going at all times. I have one customer that I deliver to. They have 2 fireplaces. They tell me those fires go all the time. They have a fireplace in their office that they work out of. They work out of their home. They have a fireplace in there, and the fire is going all the time. And they have a fireplace in their main living area, and that fire goes almost all the time. These people go through 2 to 3 full cords a year just in their fireplace. And they burn in their fire pit outside. So they go through a lot of wood. Just considering that they're burning it mainly for fun, not so much for heat, just for fun. Yes, they get some heat from it, and it's auxiliary heat, and it helps out with the heating bill, but that's not their main reason. Their main reason is they want fire because they like it. And that's good. So all those people, all 6 of those different kinds, go through a lot of wood. They're the mainstay of my customers that I sell wood to. They're the people that like fire, and generally price is not that big of an object because they're literally burning for fun. They're not burning for heat, they're burning for fun. I like those kind of people. The fourth kind of person is a heating person. Now, these are not my customers for the most part. I have a few, but my brother who sells wood in northern Wisconsin, these are his main customers, heating people. Now, what's different about heating people, for the most part, is that if they're buying wood and they're not cutting their own wood, these are the people that want the best wood possible, most bang for their buck, and they want it as cheap as possible. Not really the kind of people I want to sell wood to, unless you can do it on a huge volume every year. My brother does it. Some of those people that he sells to, they come and pick up their own wood. So for him, it's a good deal. He has a system set up where he's got his wood in sections where he knows that's Joe's wood for the year. There's 7 or 8 full cords, and that's what Joe's going to get. That's his wood, He tells them where it is, and he comes and gets it. Now these kind of people might even cut their own wood, and most of them do because they're doing it to save money. These are the kind of people that price does matter. These are the people that are trying to save money. Now, some people on my channel and people I've talked to tell me that, you know, when you buy wood, it's really not that efficient for heating because it's actually cheaper to use LP or to use, you know, natural gas or whatever it is they're using to heat with. Yeah, probably. But these people are doing it to save money because they don't even want to pay for the wood. They want to cut wood, firewood, in their own on their own property, neighbors, or they scrounge for it wherever they can find it. They want it for free for the most part, or as low a price as possible. And they want it because they want to save money. But the main reason is they love wood heat. Because if they want it 80 degrees, they put more wood on. If they want it colder, they open a window or a door. If it gets too hot, it's not a big deal. If they want it warmer, they put more wood on because they're getting it for free or such a low cost, they can control the heat. And I tell you, I grew up with having wood heat in my house all the time. Now I just have a fireplace. Having wood heat is nice. It's a lot of work, but it feels great. The house is nice and warm all the time. The sixth group of people that have firewood and want firewood are boiler people. Now, boiler people are very unique. And if you're one of them, you know this. You're a unique person. You're special. Because number one, you want as big a wood as possible, as much wood as possible, as cheap as possible, and you again want it to be hot all the time or be able to have as hot as you want. Maybe you're heating your hot water with your boiler. Maybe you're heating multiple buildings. So you're going to go through a lot of wood. Some people have more of the high efficiency wood stoves, like my buddy Tony. He's got one that requires wood to be fully dried. And then there's other people like my brother. He's got a wood stove. He can throw anything in and it just burns eventually. Yes, he's losing some heat because he's burning off some water and stuff like that when he burns the wood, when he puts it in, when it's not totally dry, but he doesn't care. He just cuts more wood. He just keeps filling it up. Now these people generally are, like I said, bigger properties. They have availability with wood to be able to get it for cheap or free or nothing or cut it themselves. And they're heating multiple buildings or they just really want the heat. So nothing wrong with those people. Now, most of the boiler people, from what I have found, want one of two things. They want as much wood as possible for as cheap as possible, and really good wood, or they cut their own wood. Most boiler people will cut their own wood, and they'll cut it to whatever size they want. You know, if they got a boiler that's got a firebox that's 3 feet, they cut their wood 3 feet, so they just throw it in. They might only split, you know, a chunk that's, say, this size or this size here. They might not split it at all. They might just throw it in whole, or they might just split it in half so that it dries a little bit. They want as little work as possible to just throw it in and have the heat. Nothing wrong with that. Hot heat is good heat. The last group of people, the seventh group, and I wouldn't say these people burn more wood than anybody else. They're just kind of unique, and I'm one of them. I started out, like I said, helping my dad cut wood, helping my brothers cut wood. I just like doing it. And growing up heating with wood, I knew how nice it was. So then when I bought my first house, I wanted to make sure I had a fireplace. We got a fireplace, so we can have a fire when we want. And we save a little bit on our heating bill, but that's not the main reason. The main reason is I just enjoy the fire. And I enjoy cutting wood. I love the exercise. So I cut more and more and more. And what happened was that I had a lot of wood. And my wife said to me one day, "What are you going to do with all that wood?" I said, "Well, maybe I'll sell some." So I started selling it about 10 years ago, and then I started selling more and more and more, and now I do a couple hundred full cords a year. I really enjoy it. I just like cutting wood. I like running a chainsaw. I like being in the woods. I like cutting trees down. I like selling wood. I like having a little extra money because I sell the wood. Save a little bit of money on heating, but mainly just for enjoyment. My buddy Adam, who helps us here at the wood yard, he doesn't even have a fireplace. I don't even know if he's got a fire pit, but he has more chainsaws than me. He loves cutting firewood. He loves helping out with the firewood. So there's those kind of guys, people that just enjoy it, and I'm one of them. So those are the 7 kinds of people. That's all I got for today, folks. Get outside, get cutting, make some firewood. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 5:30 in the morning with another video for you. Right now I got 1,300 videos on my channel. You need to go watch them. Good night, Irene.